this situation right now is just literally 1938, like exactly. Like it's just so basically what happened with like Sudene or like Sudetenland, I think you call it, is exactly what is going on now with Ukraine, because Hitler, right, and Nazi Germany, they essentially made the argument towards Britain and France that Czechoslovakia wasn't a real country at the end of the day. They aren't really like a real nation. They're a made-up nation, which is exactly the argument Putin gave, by the way. And then they were like, we have Germans there, like ethnic Germans, and they're being discriminated. They are being prosecuted because they're German speakers, which was not true, by the way. Just as it isn't true now with the Russian speakers in the East. So the exact same thing. And they were like, we want Sudetenland. We want to take it back. We want to protect our German speakers, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And Czechoslovakia was like, well, no, fuck you. Like, we ain't gonna do that. We don't want to give like piece of our land to Germans for no fucking reason. And France and Britain, our lads, our best pals, they have our back and they will, defend us. Meanwhile, you have Munich Agreement, which, by the way, Czechs call Munichska zrada, which means Munich betrayal, appropriate name. And France and UK are like, you know what? Like Czechoslovakia isn't really like worth it. Like fuck that shit. Like who cares? Them Eastern Europeans, like subhuman shit. Like who cares about that? So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna give Hitler Czechoslovakia that piece of Sudetenland. And then we're going to make him promise that he will not invade Czechoslovakia further, that he will just be satisfied with this piece where Germans live, right? So Czechs are like, excuse me, like this doesn't seem like a good deal. And France is like, UK is like, who cares? What do you think, bitch? So they did do it, right? And Germans invaded, essentially took Sudetenland, and Czechs had to agree to this guarantee of their, that they will not invade further along. What happened next, of course, actually, is that, Hitler took Czechoslovakia. Infamously, then Chamberlain, all of that was just, oh, fuck, he did go further. Wow, who would have thought? He also got access to the best armaments in Europe at the time, which were made in Czechoslovakia. They needed them for their further invasion of Poland, which is exactly what happened. They also used Slovaks in particular to further invade Poland. So they enriched their army force and they enriched them in the armament department. And then they used that as a platform to invade Poland jointly with the Soviet Union, with Stalin. That's the history that everyone should know.